You see, that's what happens when I read things left to right, right to left. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. So let's get started. Of course, the news of the week with regards to COVID-19, we're now sitting at 543,488,561. And of course, the death toll is 6,328,895. I almost changed the letter of my surname to a Z and gave everything upside down. However, that being said, I must admit the figures this week compared to last week, it seems to be up slightly, about 1.5 million on average, where we've been averaging 3 to 3.5 million new cases. This week we seem to have escalated to around about 5 or just under 5 million. And of course, the death toll has only increased by, believe it or not, although it's actually also gone up by about 10,000 new deaths reported globally. So that is something that we might need to look at moving forward and get an idea of what is going on that side. Now, with regards to, and I did send some info out amongst our groups during the course of the week with regards to the monkeypox outbreak, or at least detection of, at some point during the week, it was in the region of about 3,500 cases of monkeypox in 42 odd countries, or more than 50 countries. However, the World Health Organization did in actual fact call an emergency committee meeting regarding the multi-country monkeypox outbreak, and the statement that has now followed, which was released during the course of yesterday, has actually stated that the committee have come to the conclusion that ultimately there is no need at this point to take any action or to declare it on any sort of level as a virus or situation of international concern, and that they would rather sit back and wait approximately 21 days, gather more information, and then the committee will probably reconvene and reconsider their findings in terms of what happened. Okay, ZS6OPS returning. So they may come back in 3 weeks' time, reconvene a meeting, reconsider everything and see what has happened over the past 3 weeks, if there's any other major changes, etc. And then they will make some further recommendations with regards to the monkeypox cases that are being reported. There is, however, a deliberate call for people, countries, governments, authorities, not to place any sort of emphasis on stigmatizing the virus as a whole, as it has been circulating in particular circles. However, it can, in actual fact, and really has already broken out of that sort of barrier itself. So the stigmatization has been put out as a cautionary measure that everybody must safeguard stigmatizing any particular group or a group of persons, if I can just leave it at that. Then the other major incident that really occurred during the course of this week was the 6.2 magnitude earthquake that hit Afghanistan. I do believe that there are more than 1,000 people that have lost their lives to date. I know that that was a figure that was put out Thursday or Friday, but I think I saw, if I remember correctly, I saw some reports coming through yesterday that figure had actually exceeded 1,500 people that had been affected by the earthquake in Afghanistan. Now, the reason I bring this up again is quite simply because of the fact that, you know, we've really got to sit back and take into account and consideration that we never, ever should sit back and say it cannot happen to us, because it can happen. Anything can happen. Things can change. I mean, just look at our weather pattern of the month of June. Look at the amount of rain that we've had, the strange weather. And I was actually saying to a couple of people during the course of the week that my grass is still green, my garden is still green, my trees are green. There's one tree that's started to turn yellow, but other than that, everything else, it looks like the middle of summer. Okay, ZS6OP is returning. Okay, so on that note, that's all that I need to report on at the moment. Nothing else to consider. I wonder if there's any, well, let's start. Adrian, any questions from your side? Okay, he's shaking his head, nothing on his side, no input there. Let's see if there's anybody else out there that would like to check in as a late check-in this evening. Otherwise, I'll proceed and close the net off. ZS6OP is standing by. Okay, nothing else heard. No further check-ins, no further call-ins, no further comments. Let's then close down the net. And of course, oh yes, there is one other major important announcement that should be made with regards to COVID-19. The health regulations that were implemented during the early period of May, placing some restrictions on mask wearing, gatherings, and vaccinations, has now been repealed, and ultimately the last of the disaster relief regulations are no longer in effect. This does not, however, mean that employees must be forced to go to work. Employees may, in actual fact, at their own discretion, refuse to go to work if they feel that they could be subjected to infection due to whatever reasons. And the Department of Trade and Industry has amended their regulations as well, making provision for the fact that employees may, in actual fact, refuse to return to work or to go to work, and only need to notify the employer after the fact. So they don't even have to appear at work to say, look, I'm not happy with this, that, or whatever. If they feel that their lives may be placed in jeopardy, whether they are vaccinated or not, is irrelevant. They can stay at home and send their boss a message. The vaccination issue as well, I believe, was also repealed, and therefore people do not need to be vaccinated in order to go to work, or may not be prevented from returning to work if they are unvaccinated. So that is something that I feel is vitally important, that must be shared in the interest of public health. And the reason I say in terms of public health is purely because of the fact that mental health is still a public health issue. So having said that, there's no need now to wear your mask. It's not a requirement. However, you are still entitled to wear your mask if you feel that you are at high risk, or you may be placing others at risk. That is entirely your choice. In terms of standard respiratory disease control, viral or prevention of viral infections, that kind of thing, wearing a mask, sanitizing the hands, those should be normal day-to-day activities in any event. So I'm just going to say, guys, look, if you do feel that you are at risk, physically distance yourself, still wear a mask if you feel it's necessary. But one thing I would recommend personally is sanitize your hands. There's nothing nicer than having clean hands, regardless of the period of year or situation we are in. So for the next week, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. This is ZS6OP releasing 145.625 for general use. Cheers all. Right, Adrian, let me see if I can turn the recording off here now. Well, I suppose I must learn how to do it. Okay, that there is